Gabriel speaks, he is not the light, he was sent to announce it. Men carve his name in stone and whisper it in temples, but almost no one understands what that name means. Gabriel says he stands before the presence of God, in a light that weighs, since before the dust of your feet was made. He is not the light, he was sent to announce the light, and every door he opened points to one final day. The light he stands in does not warm the skin, it falls like water on dry ground, and everything bends inward, silent. He does not make decrees, he carries them, and when the Eternal moves history, he sends a voice, and often it is Gabriel. Before any king ever fell, the first message Gabriel carried pointed past all of them to the end of all things. His first mission began beside the river Ulai in the citadel of Susa. Daniel had seen a ram with 2 horns and a goat that flew across the earth without touching the ground. The ram was Media and Persia, and the goat was the king of Greece, whose horn would break and rise as 4. Then came the dark part, a fierce king who would stand against the prince of princes, broken by no human hand. It was not fear of the beasts that shook Daniel, it was fear of time, because history was a road with a written end. Everyone argues about the end of the world, but nobody asks who gave Daniel the exact calendar of the Messiah and why it still matters. Years later, Gabriel returned while Daniel prayed for a ruined city and a desolate sanctuary. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people, he said, to make an end of sins and bring in everlasting righteousness. From the order to restore Jerusalem to the Messiah, the prince would be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. He placed a clock in the hands of a man, a clock that no empire could slow or speed. He told Daniel the Messiah would be cut off, and the city and the sanctuary would fall like a flood. This is where most people stop reading the prophets, but this is exactly where the silence of 400 years begins. After Daniel, the heavens went quiet. And from where Gabriel stood, silence was not absence, it was waiting. He watched the abomination of desolation take its place, and Rome set its boot on the neck of nations. The priests kept offering lambs. The people kept buying and selling, and no one felt the clock nearing its hour. Hold on, because the first word of heaven after 400 years fell on one old priest at an altar of incense. Gabriel descended to the temple at the hour of incense, where only the priest of the day could stand. Zechariah was a just man, but he carried the weight of a wife that all the town called barren. Do not fear, Zechariah, your prayer is heard, and Elizabeth shall bear you a son named John. The old priest measured the promise with a short rod of his reason, and he asked for a sign. I'm Gabriel, that stand in the presence of God, he answered, and the sign was silence until the child was born. Then the messenger was sent to a village no map cared to name, to a house of whitewashed stone. Mary was pledged to a carpenter, and the universe had turned its eyes toward that one small room. Do not fear, Mary, he said, the holy thing born shall be called the Son of God. That one yes opened the door through which the kingdom without end would enter the world. You thought the prophecies were about empires and battles, but the war Gabriel watched was never fought with swords men could see. Gabriel told Mary her son would sit on the throne of David, and his kingdom would have no end. He showed Daniel a battle no man had seen. A wait of 21 days beside the great river, the prince of Persia withstood Gabriel until Michael came to help him break through. Behind every empire stood a spiritual prince, and the clock still runs toward its last hours. A king will arise against the Most High, but the vision ends with a Son of Man coming in the clouds. Every empire falls, so that the one thing that never falls can finally be seen. And if you leave before the final 60 seconds, you will miss the correction that sets Gabriel's story straight, and it changes the end of the Bible. Men painted Gabriel at the end of the world with a trumpet at his lips, but Scripture never wrote his name on that trumpet. It speaks of the trumpet of God and the voice of the archangel, and he refuses to claim what was not given. The first ruin in heaven came when one wanted to be more than his measure, so Gabriel stays in his place. He is not the sword that belongs to Michael, and he is not the light, he only announces the light. When the king appears, the messenger will go silent because the word will have become presence. The thread of Gabriel's whole story is one straight line, and that line runs to a single throne. Delay is not denial, the answer was already on its way while the Prince of Persia held the road. He is not the light, and only the one who is the light can save you. The messenger who stands before the throne bends his knee to the child in the manger. If this opened your eyes, drop one word in the comments. Write the word light, then tell me the chapter you want told next, and the most requested becomes our next film. Like this video, subscribe to Biblical Historical and share it with someone waiting on a word. The light has already come and the messenger is still pointing at him. God bless you.